Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're looking at something that, it's something that can be really tough to deal with.
Yeah,
Navigating support systems for adults with developmental disabilities.
oh, yeah.
It's a maze out there.
Definitely a maze, yeah.
We got a snippet of text sent in, and it really highlights some of the challenges. So
Mhm.
we're going to be diving into that today.
Yeah, so the big thing that jumped out at me in this source material is how offices that are supposed to help people with developmental disabilities,
Right.
they have these really specific rules about who's eligible.
Yeah, it mentions that the disability has to have existed before age 22,
Exactly. You have to prove that it was there before you turn 22.
which, on the surface, sounds kind of straightforward, right?
You would think so, wouldn't you?
Like, okay, you either have a developmental disability or you don't.
Right.
But I have a feeling it's way more complicated than that.
Oh, it is. It is. And the source keeps saying keep documentation like it's some big secret.
Yeah.
And it kind of is because it can make or break your chances of getting help.
Okay, so let's break this down, this documentation thing. It's not just about, like, proving you have a diagnosis right now, is it?
No, no, not at all. It's about showing that this disability has been a part of your life for a long time. And that's where this whole age 22 thing comes in.
So what kind of documentation are we even talking about here? Like, what should people be saving?
I'm talking about anything and everything. School records, medical evaluations, notes from therapists, especially those IEPs, those individualized education programs from school. Those are gold.
Oh, yeah, the IEPs?
Yeah, they often spell out exactly what kind of learning challenges a kid had
Right.
and how the school tried to help them. But the thing is, this age 22 rule, it comes from this old-fashioned idea that you can always tell if someone has a developmental disability.
As a kid.
Yeah, as a kid. But we know now that's just not true.
Right. Like, some people might not get diagnosed until they're adults.
Right. Exactly. Especially if their challenges were milder or maybe they were good at hiding them or something else was going on.
So they could actually really need support, but get shut out because of this rule.
That's exactly what happens sometimes.
Right.
And it's heartbreaking. Because what if they don't have any of that documentation from when they were younger?
Is it just a lost cause then?
I wouldn't say it's a lost cause, but it definitely makes things harder.
Okay, so what can they do?
Well, they might need to get evaluations from specialists, like right now, to show what's going on. Or, if it's possible, maybe they can track down old records from schools, doctors, anyone they saw as a kid.
Like a paper trail?
Exactly. It can feel like you're a detective sometimes, but sometimes those old records turn up.
That's good to know.
Yeah, and it's important to think about the real-world impact of all this.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, imagine someone in their 30s, let's say they have autism,
Okay,
and they're having a hard time finding a job.
because of the social stuff.
Exactly. And they need job training, but they don't have any paperwork from when they were a kid.
So they could be denied because of that.
That's a real possibility.
That's awful.
And it's not just jobs. It could be housing assistance, therapy, even medical care. Not having that support can really mess up your life. It can lead to financial problems, loneliness, a lower quality of life overall.
Yeah, the stakes are really high.
Very high.
So it's no wonder this source is like yelling at us to keep documentation.
Yeah.
Like, even if people aren't looking for these services right now, what can they do to be proactive?
Start gathering what you have. Seriously, even if it doesn't seem related to a developmental disability.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Old report cards, notes from doctors,
Yeah.
literally anything. You never know what might be useful later on.
You just never know.
Right. And if someone's missing key documents, don't give up. Start calling schools, doctors, those early intervention programs, anything they might have been involved with.
Right, so it's about being prepared.
Exactly. And, when you're dealing with these sisters, you got to be clear about what you need. And don't give up easily. You have to advocate for yourself or for your loved one.
Advocacy is so important.
Absolutely.
So I think the main takeaway today is knowing about these eligibility rules and how crucial documentation is can really change someone's life.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Being prepared and knowing your options is key, right?
Absolutely. It's the key to navigating this whole thing.
And on that note, here's a thought for you to chew on. What resources are out there in your community? Like, what can help people navigate this system? A little research could go a long way in making sure people with developmental disabilities get the support they need and deserve. So that's it for our deep dive today. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.